Alright, so today we're going to create a video of how to model this bracket, as we're calling it here. This is a piece that we created in AutoCAD last week, but what we're going to do with it this week is we're going to create it in Creo, because that's the second phase of the project that my students have. So what I'm going to do is we're using Creo 7 here. But I'm going to first, as always, set my working directory. So I go my documents, CAD. I've got a nice little folder for Creo tutorials, and I'm going to hit OK. Now I'm going to start my piece, make sure I don't have anything in the background. So new. And for this piece, my students will call it MS1001-bracket. And we're going to hit OK. That's going to open up my default. If yours looks a little different, don't worry. It might just be some config options. Feel free to let me know if you need some help with that. But I have mine set to isometric. So looking at this piece, okay, a couple things to note. First off, it's metric. Secondly, it's kind of a unique piece in that there's some cutouts in the back here. There's a little piece that juts out to the side here, sticks out at the bottom. So for me, I always talk about, if you've ever done my lessons before, I always talk about how important it is to model it the way that a manufacturer would make it, because that's going to make you a lot better drawing down the road. So what I see is a nice outline here, and that's what we're going to start with. So first off, let's set up our properties. So let's go File, Prepare, Model Properties right up here. I'm going to click that, and you can see my units right now are set to inch, pound, second. So I'm going to hit change. And there's a couple options. I like millimeter, kilogram, second personally, but if you're a big fan of newtons, you can always pick newton second. But I'm going to say millimeter, kilogram, second. I'm going to hit set. This is very important if I have something already modeled. So if you had already started and went, oh no, I made it an inch, you could say, you could either say interpret, so if you meant to make it 1 millimeter but you made it 1 inch, that would convert it all to millimeters. If you say convert, it'll actually divide it by 25.4. So we're going to make, well in this case, multiply by 25.4. So it doesn't really matter for us. We don't have anything created. So I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to hit close. And I'm going to hit close again. Now I'm ready to make my piece. All right, so I'm going to make an extrude. All right, we're going to pick this front plane here, all right, or if you prefer, you could go placement, define, and we could pick the front plane here or here. I'm going to pick that front plane, and I'm going to middle click to go into sketch mode, and if yours doesn't rotate automatically, just hit this button, and you'll see it'll rotate you right around to it. Now, like I said, I see this outside shape here, but I also have to think about where the basis of this thing is, okay? So this thing's a bracket. I see a big, long surface along the bottom there, and I think that's probably where the piece should sit, but I'm going to just make it right down this bottom corner. We'll just make it easy. We'll make some cuts as we go. But if I knew exactly how this piece was getting made, I might make it on that bottom surface, because that might be one of my datum planes, one of my GD&T datum planes. So now let's create some lines. So let's go over, down, over, up. Those do line up, so I'm okay with that lining up there. Go over, up again, over again. Whoop. Ooh, didn't like that for some reason. Now we'll go up, click, go up at an angle. I can already see this thing's going to be way out of proportion, so that's okay. Click. Not sure why it's so unhappy with me there. Let's try it again. Line, click, click, middle click, middle click. All right, so now I'm going to put in some dimensions I need. So go dimension. And one that I see right away is an overall dimension from here to here. And then I'll put an overall dimension from here to here. Okay, and then what I'll do as opposed to putting in all the other ones, is I'm going to pick my big white arrow up here, draw a big box around everything, hold right click on this, go to modify. Alright, now I'm going to lock my scale, and I'm going to change one of these to what it should be. So this 314 is supposed to be 120. And I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to refit my screen. Alright, now this guy's way out here, so I'm going to go like that. I'm going to try and get that in the middle of my screen. Now I'll put my other dimensions in. So this height is 58. Ooh, didn't like that, so maybe I'll put some other things in first. Let's see what I have. I have a dimension from here to here. I have a dimension from here to here. Dimension here. One from here to here. So left click, middle click. I have a dimension from here, from left click, middle click. Have an angle, so this line to this line, middle click. And am I missing anything else? Bring this guy down. Let's see. We've got from here down to here. That angle goes back. Oh, I see what one I'm missing. So from here over to here, and then I'm going to middle click up here. Okay, so now let's put these numbers in the way they should be. This is 45. This is 30. This is 42. This is 6. 10. Definitely not the way I would dimension if I was designing this, but hey, maybe they had a reason to. 24. 10. Drag that out so I can see it a little better. That's how they're going to show up on my drawing, so I might as well make them look good now. And then this is going to be 58. Alright, there's my general profile here. Now I'm going to extrude this guy out about 54, it tells me. Now I'll extrude it that way because I'm going to cut from this end. Alright, so now I'll just hit OK. Now I have part of my piece, my general shape. Now let's cut away what we don't need on the end here. So I'm going to go, because we can see, by the way, the reason I'm doing that is that we can see that this little piece here, this little, I don't know what to call that, little square with a little piece of jut down on the bottom, that sticks out over to here about 16. So I'm going to make a 16 cut on the outside. So let's go extrude. I'm going to cut on this surface. Nice rotation for me. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some references. I'm going to hold right click, I'm going to click references. Pick this line, pick this one, pick this one, pick this one. That should be enough to get going. Go up to line. Go from here over to here. And then, ooh, you know what? I didn't need to do that. That's okay. So I'll go down here, go out here, up to this, over to that, over to here, back down. Probably didn't need to add those references in reality. They didn't really do anything for me, but that's okay. So now I just need a height. So from here to here is the dimension they give me. Middle click, and that dimension is 40. Now I'm going to hit OK. We can see that that's extruding out right now. I don't want that. I want to remove material here. So I'm going to hit remove material. I'm going to flip my direction, and I'm going to change it to 16. And we can see it's just going to cut in 16. It was cutting in 80 before. That's why you saw everything disappear. All right, so I'm going to cut that in 16. That looks pretty good. I'm going to middle click, and or I could have hit the checkbox. I like middle clicking. So now I've got that cut out in there. Now let's see what else we have here. We can see that this piece only goes back about 42. All right, so I'm going to make a cut on the bottom. Okay. So let's make an extrude. We could do it a couple ways, honestly. We could cut back here, cut in. I'm going to cut from the bottom, though. I think that's a good way to do it. So I'm going to pick this surface down here. It's going to rotate me right around. I'm going to create a line. One of the nice things in Creo 7, I added all those references before. It actually auto-creates references now for you. So I can go, let's see, let's go out like this, down, over to the corner, over to this corner, over to this corner, over to this corner. Then I'll middle click to end, middle click again. You can see there's my sketch right there. I'm going to rotate it back. And this says from the end of here to here, it's supposed to be 42. So now I'll hit OK. I'll make it a cut again. And I'll cut through everything. Very important, by the way. Don't leave it at a blind depth. Then you got a random dimension. It's going to show up, and it's not a dimension you actually need. Someone else has to work on your part later. They're like, well, is this dimension important? Can I change this? That's not a good thing. It's a very inconsiderate thing, to be honest. All right, so there we go. Now I've got my little jaw sticking out there. Now I've only got a little bit left to do. So one of the things I need to do is I need to cut this little slant out up here in the corner. So I'm going to do that by going extrude. I'll start at the top because I'm going to cut this thing all the way through. And I'm going to make a little triangle. It goes like so. And I'm going to add some dimensions I need. So the dimensions they give me is the height here and the angle from here to here. The angle is 30. The height is 20. Now I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to make it a cut. I'm going to flip the direction because we can see this arrow going up here. I'll show you a different way to do it. I could hit it up here, or I can hit this arrow. That'll flip it back. Now I'm going to go through everything, cut it away till there's nothing left. And I'm going to hit OK. All right, look at that. That's a funky looking end there. All right, now the only thing I have left to do is the hole on the end of this guy, right here. All right, so I'm going to go up to my hole feature. I'm going to make it a standard hole profile. That should give me a nice drill tip at the end. I'm going to put that hole, this is a very handy thing, by the way, they added in Creo. After about Creo 2, the standard hole profile is an awesome thing. It allows you to add countersinks and counterbores and stuff like that. And when you click it, you can see it just adds it right in there. You got all your stuff. It's so awesome. Okay, so before I place it, I'm just going to set up my size here. This thing is 16 in diameter, and it's 22 deep. So now I'm just going to pick this surface, and I've got to figure out where it goes to. If I look at my view, it goes from 28 down to this surface and 22 over to here. So let's set that up. There's a couple ways I can do it. I like to drag the antennas. Let's grab this antenna, drag it down there. You see it's highlighting the bottom. I let go. It goes right there. The other thing I could do is I could have rotated and then dragged it to the bottom. Either way works. Get a feel for it either way. I'm going to drag this one over here. Okay, now I'm going to change my dimensions. This was 22. Make sure you click right on the number. If you miss the number, you're going to click something random. 28. Have my little hole profile there. I middle click or hit my checkbox to say OK. And now I'm done with this part. Okay, this is a pretty efficient way to make this part too. We made it in 4 features. So our initial extrusion, a cut, a cut, a cut, and then a hole. Now think about the way that your manufacturer is going to make this. Exactly the same way, right? They're going to start with a block. They're going to cut it to that general profile. Then they're going to cut away material, and then drill the hole. All right, and they'll be all done. So that is how we're going to create this bracket.